Hello, friends, and welcome back to Heart with Abagaba. I'm your host, Abigail, also known as Abby, and I'm so grateful you're here with me today. If you've been following my podcast, you know that the space is all about rewriting the rules of what is possible, no matter where you come from or what season of life you're in. Today's episode is incredibly close to my heart. It is titled My Journey to the Crown. As a stay at home mom to beautiful, busy young twins, my days are usually filled with toys, routines, and the beautiful chaos of motherhood. But earlier this year, I felt a deep, undeniable calling. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Abby Dominguez. This is Heart to Heart with Abagaba podcast, and I'm so glad you're here. I spent over a decade as a nanny and teacher, learning from children and families around the world, sharing stories of love, laughter, and resilience that remind us of the power of connection and community. Subscribe today and join our village of Heart to Heart listeners. This is about a journey of faith, obedience, courage, and becoming. And on that note, I am thrilled to officially launch my platform, Grace at Every Age, in partnership with the Miss Senior World Pageant system. This journey is entirely dedicated to three things close to my heart: championing children's literacy, serving our local communities, and amplifying the incredible visibility, leadership, and wisdom of all women, especially women aged 50 through 79. Growing up from very humble beginnings in Ghana, and after living here in the US for 25 years, I realized that our dreams don't have an expiration date. So, at 51 years young, I took a massive leap of faith. In March, I hit submit on the Pageant application. By June, the fees were paid in full and my official crown and sash arrived in the mail. Now the real work begins as I prepare to head to Biloxi, Mississippi this November. This journey isn't about a title. It is the living, breathing proof of my platform, Grace at Every Age. Today, I am taking you behind the scenes of how this all happened, how I'm balancing twin mom life with pageant prep, and why it is never, ever too late to step into your calling. Let's dive into the story. I want to walk you through the 4 chapters of this journey so far: the calling, the cultural roots that built my foundation, the reality of training, and what grace at every age actually looks like in practice. Now, to pull back the curtain completely, I've gathered the questions I get asked the most since announcing this decision. I am going to put myself in the hot seat today and answer them honestly. Let's start with the big one that everyone wants to know. You submitted your application in March. What was the exact moment or nudge that made you say, I'm 51, I have young twins, and I'm going to enter a pageant? For me, it wasn't one final moment. It was a gentle but persistent nudge in a fun Zumba class in February 2026. My 51st birthday was approaching in May, and thoughts on how to celebrate appealed to me. And my curiosity in entering a pageant grew, and I wondered if there was even such a thing. I shared more details in a previous episode, so for the sake of time, I will link it in the show notes. When I decided to compete for the Miss Senior World, I was deep in twin mom life and did not know how it was all going to work out. I didn't have every detail figured out. I didn't have all the answers, the time, the money, the resources to compete. I remember thinking, Lord, if this is for me, that will make a way. And I stepped forward anyway and felt peace about it. I kept feeling this quiet reminder. Your life didn't end when motherhood expanded, it deepened. I realized that if I waited for the perfect season, I might never move. So I said yes, not because everything was aligned, but because I was. And sometimes that's how faith begins. Saying yes to the application was the first act of obedience. For 25 years, you lived in the US, but your story began in Ghana. How did your humble beginnings shape the woman that is stepping onto the stage today? You know, when people look at a pageant stage, they see the bright lights, the gowns, and the glamour. But when I look in the mirror, I see a little girl who grew up in Ghana. And that is exactly who is stepping onto that stage. My roots taught me three things that I carry with me every single day: resilience, humility, and deep gratitude. I didn't grow up with excess. We didn't have a lot of material things, but we were rich in values. I was raised by a single father, but he didn't do it alone. I was surrounded by a village of women who loved me, protected me, and embraced me exactly as I was. That community gave me my foundation. It shaped how I see people, how I serve others, and how I stand tall today. It's wild to think about, but 25 years ago, I left England to chart a new life here in North America. I did it against the wishes of my late father. He wasn't trying to hold me back, he was just terrified. He worried so much that I wouldn't have a family here to support and encourage me when things get tough. And honestly, things did get tough. Life was hard at times, many times, but life was also so good and so beautiful. I built a chosen family of wonderful friends, and now I have a beautiful family of my own to raise. So, how did those humble beginnings shape me? They grounded me. When I walk out under those lights in November, I'm not just walking out there for myself. I am carrying my upbringing, my village, and my father's memory with me. I am deeply aware that every single opportunity is a gift, and I'm ready to show the world what a foundation built on values look like. Many women put their personal dreams on pause when they become moms. How do you balance raising young twins and preparing for a major pageant? I'll let you in on a secret. I don't believe in perfect balance. I believe in intentional grace. Being a stay at home mom to young twins is incredibly busy, but I refuse to let staying home mean shrinking my ambitions. Our days are packed with diaper changes, meal prep, and the endless energy of two toddlers. It takes us over an hour just to leave the house. But stepping into this pageant journey has brought a deeper sense of self care into my life that I didn't know I needed. I love the beautiful chaos of switching from yoga pants and baby food stains to high heels, makeup, and a crown. Today, right after yoga, I transformed into pageant casual for a women's event. Pageant prep happens in the middle of real life. My 26-month-old son loves my sash. He points the letters and gives me the biggest hugs. On good days, I practice my walk in the living room, and my daughter watches me like a hawk before trying to copy my steps. On other days, she snatches my interview questions right out of my hand while I'm preparing dinner. Some days, prep doesn't happen at all, and that is okay. My twins aren't competing with my dreams, they are witnessing them. I want them to see a mother who shows up imperfectly, but faithfully. They may be too young to understand pageantry now, but they will grow up knowing that life doesn't stop when you become a parent. Your platform is grace at every age. What does that phrase mean to you personally? And why does the world need it right now? Grace at every age is about honoring who you are today, not mourning who you used to be. In a culture obsessed with youth, speed, and endless comparison, grace gives us permission to slow down, soften, and still shine bright. At 51, raising young twins, I am living proof that you are never late. You are right on time. If you are listening right now and feeling like it's too late to pivot or start something new, I want you to remember these words by C.S. Lewis. You are never too old to set a new goal or to dream a new dream. Let that truth sink into your spirit. The world tells us that aging means fading out, but I believe we can find incredible beauty and purpose in the physical, mental, and emotional shifts of life. Grace isn't about stopping time, it's about stepping boldly into your own time. What is the biggest misconception about women competing in pageants in their 50s? The biggest misconception is that we're trying to relive our past. But in truth, we are redefining our present. This isn't about proving our youth, it's about showcasing our wisdom, our depth, our service, and our purpose. I'm not trying to shatter a stereotype by force. I am doing it simply by showing up completely as myself. I remember sitting down with my feelings just to complete the bio questionnaire. It was such a humbling experience to write about my life as a mother, a wife, an author, and my service to the community through podcasting. Only a pageant application forces that kind of deep, grateful reflection. When I finally hit the submit button on my application back in March, it made the dream real. The feeling was beyond what my words alone can even describe. It was just so right. It just felt so good. It felt so much bigger than me. As part of that application, I had to send in a video explaining exactly why I wanted to do this. It turned out to be an amazing opportunity to just sit quietly and reflect on all my true reasons before hitting send. And when the executive director called me a few days later to officially welcome me to the pageant, wow, it was such a massive honor. I could hardly believe it was actually happening. In June, you paid your fees in full and received your official crown and sash. Walk us through the emotions of unboxing them for the first time. I'm incredibly grateful to my husband for believing in this dream from the very beginning. When I told him in February that I wanted to enter the Miss Senior World pageant, He looked at me and said, if this is what you want for your 51st birthday, then go for it. Those simple words meant so much to me. He didn't just encourage me, he gave me a financial head start toward my entry application in March. That gift was more than money. It was his way of saying, I believe in you. Knowing that the person closest to me believed in this dream gave me the confidence to take that first step. I've learned that dreams often begin with one courageous decision, but they are sustained by the love and encouragement of the people around us. I'm deeply grateful that my husband chose to walk this journey with me from day one. In, in a few months after submitting the entry fees, I had a major decision to pay in full. I felt so strongly that if I was going to walk this path, I needed to walk it fully. And look, I won't pretend that wasn't a stretch. As a stay at home mom without a personal income right now, it brought up real financial stress. I actually started a banana bread fundraiser to help cover some of the costs. And I'm so incredibly thankful to everyone who has ordered one or many of those loaves. So, through a miracle and a lot of grace from above, I paid it. And in that exact moment, I learned something so powerful that I want you to hear if you're listening right now. Sometimes obedience comes before clarity. Sometimes the provision meets you after you take the first step, not before it. Looking back, I smile because neither of us anticipated what this journey would require. I didn't consider the travel expenses, childcare, the wardrobe, the sponsorships, or the fundraising. We certainly didn't know how much faith it would take. All we knew was that there was a dream. My husband believed in that dream before we knew the full cost. His yes became the first step in a journey that has stretched my faith, introduced me to incredible people, and reminded me that God often reveals the path one step at a time. And then came one of the most emotional moments of this entire journey, receiving my sash and my crown. There is something so powerful about holding them in your hands, not because they define you, but because of what they represent. For me, the crown represents responsibility, grace, and service. The sash represents identity and purpose. When I looked at them, I didn't even see pageantry. I saw a physical reminder that God so calls women at every single stage of life. I waited so I could open the box with my children. That made it even more meaningful because legacy isn't built alone, it's shared. When we unboxed them, I'll be honest, I cried. It wasn't about the sparkling metal, it was about obedience, faith, sacrifice, and courage. Holding that sash felt like holding every single yes I've ever said to God, especially when it would have been so much easier to say no. How do you practice grace on the days when twin mom life feels chaotic? Grace looks like breathing before reacting. It looks like letting the dishes wait. It looks like reminding myself that love, not perfection, is what my children will remember. Some days, grace is productivity. Other days, it's simply survival. And both count. This experience has deepened the meaning of my platform, grace at every age. It means that life doesn't expire at a certain number. It means purpose doesn't expire. It means purpose doesn't retire. And And it means women, especially women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, are still becoming, still rising, still visible, still valuable. I've spent years working with children and families, and now I also see how important it is to model something else, that becoming doesn't stop. What does your pageant preparation look like as you gear up for November? Preparation for Biloxi is layered, but the most intense training is happening in my heart. Take the official photo submission, for example. Without the budget for a professional photographer, I took my own headshots. It forced me to face myself and ask, how do I show up as myself in this season of life? What does confidence look like at my age? Between the retakes and adjusting my sash, something shifted. I realized I was learning to be seen again. I was stepping from behind the scenes of being a caregiver and a mother and stepping directly into visibility. It's a vulnerable place to be, but it's beautiful. Alongside the physical wellness, interview prep, and wardrobe planning, this is my real training routine. I am preparing my heart to represent with dignity, humility, and purpose at Miss Senior World. What do you hope your twins take away from watching their mom chase a crown? When my twins look back on this chapter of our lives, there are three things I hope they take away deep into their hearts. First, I want them to know that growth doesn't stop with age. You never outgrow your potential, and 51 can be a season of brand new beginnings. Second, I want them to see that motherhood doesn't erase your dreams, it expands them. Having children doesn't mean you have to shrink yourself or put your identity in a box. It means you have a front row audience watching you rise. And finally, I want them to learn that true courage looks like trying, even when the outcome is completely uncertain. They might be too young to understand the crown or the pageantry right now, but they understand energy, they understand faith, and they understand joy. By watching me step out of my comfort zone and onto the Miss Senior World stage, I hope I am handing them a blueprint to their own lives. I want them to grow up knowing that they never have to let fear keep them small. When you walk on that stage in November, what will be running through your mind? One word: gratitude. In that exact moment, when I step under those bright lights, I'll be thinking about just how far I've come. I'll be thinking about my roots in Ghana, my late father's worries, and the courage it took to cross an ocean 25 years ago. I'll be thinking about the incredible people who have supported me along the way. Everyone who bought a loaf of banana bread, aka pageant bread, sent a message of encouragement or prayed for me. But more than anything, I'll be thinking about the responsibility of representing women who feel unseen. Standing on that stage in Biloxi, I'm deeply aware that I will be carrying so much more than just myself. I'll be carrying our stories. I'll be carrying the story of the mother who thinks her dreams are over. I'll be carrying the story of the woman in her 50s who thinks it's too late to start fresh. When I look out into that audience, I want every woman watching to see a reflection of her own potential. I want them to know that if I can stand there, grounded and shining, they can step into their own visibility too. What's your message to a woman who feels called to start something new but thinks it's too late? My sister, if you still feel that gentle nudge inside your spirit, it is not too late. True timing isn't about a number. True timing isn't about a number on the clock or your age. It is about your readiness. I need you to understand something so clearly. Your life experiences is not a limitation. It is your qualification. Every heartbreak you've survived, every diaper you've ever changed, every time you've had to stand back up when life was hard, that is your depth. You aren't starting from scratch, you are starting from experience. So if there's a dream you've tucked away because you think your window has closed, I challenge you to take one small, courageous step today. Dust off that dream. Give yourself permission to be seen. You are right on time. How can listeners follow and support your journey? The best way to support me is by following along on this journey, sharing your encouragement, and keeping me in your prayers. Every message and every kind word reminds me that I am carrying our collective stories to Biloxi, and I do not take that lightly. I currently have 2 simple ways to support, and I'm so grateful for either. If you feel led to support my journey to the crown financially, I have a secure Give Better digital page. Or if you want to order a delicious loaf of my famous pageant bread, I have a Venmo or PayPal. You can find the direct clickable links right below in the episode show notes. Whether you support, share, or simply send a prayer or a kind word, please know how much it means to me. Thank you for tuning in today on Heart to Heart with Abagaba. Thank you for being a part of my village. Thank you for your grace. If there's anything I hope you take away from this episode, it's this. Your yes matters, even when it's quiet, even when it's uncertain, even when it stretches you. Because sometimes your yes is the very thing that opens doors you couldn't open on your own. This crown is not the destination. It is simply a reminder of obedience, grace, and timing. As we wrap up this episode, I want to thank you again for walking this road with me. And as always, may grace meet you right where you are. And may you never underestimate the beauty of your journey at every age. If this episode spoke to you today, please share it with a woman in your life who needs a reminder that her crown is waiting too. Don't forget to hit subscribe, follow my journey to Biloxi on social media, and remember, give yourself grace in the season because your story is far from over. Until next time, keep shining and goodbye. Thank you for sharing this space with us on Heart to Heart with Abagaba. I hope this conversation inspired you to keep moving forward in hope and light. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone you love. Leave us a review and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a moment of inspiration, connection, and joy. May your home be filled with peace, your heart with joy, and your spirit with the quiet strength of love. Until next time, take care of your heart, take care of each other, and keep celebrating the love that makes us family.